Okay, this is for Bob and Mike and everybody else who wanted to see this old crate run for the first time since 1956. I will start it up for you. Had a few issues with it, but they've got a head gasket coming from England, but I've got a used head gasket in there now that seems to be working okay. So, hook up my ignition switch. It happens to be a red wire onto the original 83-year-old ignition coil. And hit the starter lever. It has the usual Austin 7 rumble, which I thought was kind of loud, but evidently it's quite normal. Big oil pressure. 5 pounds, that's where it's supposed to be. Just has a splash lubrication system, so it doesn't use much oil pressure. Notice the old radiator hoses, I even kept those. They're kind of old and brittle, but they leaked a bit at first, but now they've softened up a little bit. That top hose is Canadian Dunlop. God knows how old that is. Fuel pump's leaking gas out. I think the diaphragm's leaking in the fuel pump. You can actually see it dripping there maybe. So I'm going to have to do something about that. Get a kit or something. Haven't got the drive shaft in yet, obviously. Original air cleaner. Pause and unpause for this here, but that's the way it's cleaned originally. What else can I show you? I'll move around to the other side. There's the distributor, hangs off the end of the dynamo or generator. Kind of a weird setup, but it works. One of the reasons it's so noisy, there's quite a bunch of gears in there. Starter lever. What else can I show you? All 17 horsepower. That's my gas tank in the back, because the other gas tank, or the original gas tank, is sitting there on top of the garbage can. It's absolutely full of scale and rust, so I got to clean that out. Anyway, there it is. My first YouTube video, if it worked. Yeah, I was kind of pleased it ran as well as it did. It's been a long time coming. That fan is a 4-bladed fan, as you can see, which was only used in the export models. Everything that stayed in the UK had a 2-bladed fan. And I purposely didn't paint it because there's a big controversy about the color of those fans on the Austin 7 forums. Some people say they never came from the factory red, and some people say they did, and I think they did because this has never been touched. So, what else? Radiator amazingly doesn't leak. It's actually quite good shape. for an 83-year-old radiator, as you can see. My next project is to do well, I guess one project is to get the gas tank cleaned out. I think what I'll do is just fill it full of rocks or nuts and bolts or something and shake it around. As my cousin Laurie suggested, I should strap it to one of the rear wheels here and turn it over in first gear. It's like a rotisserie and tumble it that way. That might work. And I also have to put the steering box in. It's upstairs in the mezzanine here. Has to be all cleaned up and adjusted. And never-ending job. It's been fun. I'm glad it's reached this point. Anyway, hopefully this will work. I'm going to play it back now and see how it works. Hope you enjoyed it.